Greetings, my fellow decrepits, invalids, and other sick people. I hope that you're doing well today and that you're fighting the good fight. I wanted to make a video today talking about how we can try our best to maintain a positive mindset despite the circumstances and health issues that we're dealing with. I think this is really important because the moment that we allow ourselves to begin entertaining the worst case scenario, it starts to have a real impact on our mental health, which then in turn has an impact on our physical health. And if we're already having issues with our physical health, allowing ourselves to lose the mental battle is only going to make things worse. So I compiled a list of 5 things that I think have helped me, and I want to offer them to you and hope that maybe you could try to start implementing some of these things into your fight as well. So let's get started, and here we go. All right, so tip number 1 is going to be to stay optimistic. Now, obviously, before I get into this, I want to acknowledge that I don't know your personal diagnosis. I don't know how your health issues are affecting your life, your family. There's so many aspects to your personal struggle that I don't understand. But with that in mind, I think it's very important, as much as possible, to stay optimistic about our circumstances. I know for myself, I've continued to try and think about the future and think about the light at the end of the tunnel, and that someday I hope that I can play with my kids and not get tired. I hope that I can go for a run again. I hope that I can go back to work full time. And I think we have to maintain that mindset and have something we're shooting for. It's like the old saying that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And I think that we have to have that mindset with our health, is that we've been told X, Y, and Z by our doctors, and this is the situation, and now we got to make the most of it. And so I really think that's important for our health, and simply to not get discouraged. It's so easy to think about the worst case scenario, about what if this, what if that, how am I going to get through this financially? How am I going to, X, Y, Z? There's so many aspects to, staying positive, but I think it's so important. And so my encouragement to you would simply be to every day try to wake up and find the good in the day. There's something there, I promise you. Even on my worst days, I know I was lying in bed, and I'd find something to, be happy about. It might have been the worst day I've ever felt in my life, just lying in bed, can hardly move, and I'd think about my kid or my son when he laughs, or I think about a good memory, there's something there, I promise you. You just have to search for it. And I think that you need those things in your life to help you get through the day-to-day struggles. So anyway, I hope that's an encouragement, and that is tip number 1 for you. Tip number 2 is that you have to want to get better. And what that means to me is that you have to wake up every day and you have to be willing to keep fighting. That's really the biggest reason I think that I started this YouTube channel, is that I want to encourage people that you have to be proactive in your fight. I think modern medicine is amazing. It really is. But I think so many times we are waiting on the right medication to just fix all of our problems. Now, with that, I want to say I'm taking some medications right now to try and manage my health. Modern medicine's great. I'm not saying don't use modern medicine. Use it if it's helping you. What I'm trying to say, though, is that in our day-to-day life, we have to find ways to continue fighting and being proactive about trying to get through this. That's why I've continued to try the best I can to get more vegetables into my diet. I've tried to do whatever kind of limited exercise I can. I've tried to take, more vitamins. I've tried to do more meditations, more, deep breathing. Cold showers are supposed to be good for your health. I've had all these things this year that I have tried to try and boost my health as much as I can. And I think that that's a huge part of fighting. I'm not saying that any of those things are the solution necessarily, but maybe it is. I've I've known people who they have had health issues for years and years, and they found out they had a food allergy, and so they got to change something in their diet, and then they get better. So I think you have to be proactive, and the goal would be that between you and your doctors and your family and friends, that everyone comes together and we fight this thing as one, and hopefully eventually we find something that gets us out to the other side. But that involves you having to wake up every day, and no matter how hard it is, you have to say, I want to get through this, I want to get better, and you have to continue to fight that fight. And so, I think that's so important for our mindset. And I think that changes how we view our circumstances when we wake up in the morning. If we wake up and just say, I'm not better again, this is awful, I can't believe this is happening to me, I think all those things just slow down our progress. And, versus if we wake up and we say, I want to get better, I'm going to do everything I can today to try and boost my health in hopes that I can find the solution to get better. I think that mindset is going to be way more beneficial to your health long term. I think it's going to be beneficial to your mental health, and you never know, it may even help you with your physical symptoms too, depending on your circumstances. Not always, but so yeah, I think that you waking up and saying, I want to get better, is a huge piece of this. So, hey, wake up. If you're watching this, wake up. I want you to just tell yourself, I want to get better. I want to get better. So that's tip number 2 for you. All right. So for tip number 3, we have don't be a victim. Now, this is a really hard one to wrestle with. And I think it's hard because when you feel bad for weeks and for months and sometimes for years, you start to just think, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why not someone else? And am I ever going to get better? And this isn't fair, And so I want to be clear, you are absolutely allowed to have those feelings. That is okay. And you should have those feelings. And you should allow yourself to say those things. But I think at a certain point, after you've expressed the feelings, you need to set them aside and move on from them. I think if you stay in that place of negativity and you stay in that place of anger and this isn't fair, I think that's just a detriment to your health. And I think it simply holds you back. I think it damages your mental health, and it doesn't allow you to grow. And that there's so many things I think that we miss out on if we entertain the victim mindset. And so I think rather we should try to be victors in this, and to see ourselves as conquerors. You want to conquer this illness. You want to conquer your health. So don't stay in that mindset of, I'm stuck here, this isn't fair, I'm never gonna get out of this. You have to face this thing head on. You have to fight it and allow yourself to be the victor, and victory looks different for each person. It looks different each day sometimes. So sometimes your victory might be, I made it out of bed today, and that's awesome. And allow yourself that victory and say, yes, I did it. Some days your victory might be going for a walk, and then you come back and you say, yes, I'm a victor. I did this. This is awesome. And so I think that that's so important, to not be a victim, but to be the victor and face this thing head on. So there you go. Tip number 3. Okay. So tip number 4 is to be thankful. I think being thankful for things is very underrated. There is so much benefit to finding things to be thankful for, even in our worst moments. I think if we allow ourselves to wallow in our own misery, we're going to find nothing but misery for company. And so if we take the time throughout the day, and it takes effort, but if you take time throughout your day to look around you, to look at your circumstances, and to find things to be thankful for, I promise you it's going to have a huge impact on your outlook of the situation. I know for myself, some days it was as simple as I am thankful that I have a warm bed to sleep in, and because some days I didn't feel like there was much to be thankful for. It's hard. I'm not going to deny it. It is hard some days. But if you can find things like a warm bed to sleep in, or I have food on the table, or, in my case, I had, my parents and friends coming over and helping me watch the kids. We had people financially support us. There were constantly things to be thankful for. If someone brought us a meal, that's something to be thankful for, And so I think that's huge. So whatever you're going through, whatever your struggle is today, I would really encourage you to take a few minutes and to look around you, to stop and reflect on your life, and to find the things to be thankful for, find things to be grateful for. And I think you're going to find a lot more than you think, even in the worst moments. So I really encourage you, take a few minutes today and look around you and find something to be thankful for. So that's tip number 4. All right, and my last tip number 5, is to know who you're fighting for. I think this is really important because you're not fighting alone. It may feel like it, but you're not fighting alone. And this will look different for everyone. And I know for myself, first I'll say I know not everyone watching this video is going to be religious, so bear with me. But for me, first and foremost, I'm fighting because I believe my God has me here for a reason and a purpose, and I want to fight through that. But I'm also fighting for my kids and for my wife and my family and my friends. I'm fighting for the chance to be able to play with my kids and to be involved in their lives. I'm fighting for my parents, my grandparents, because I want to be there for them and enjoy their lives and their stories. And so for you, whatever it is, or whoever it is, I should say, figure out who you're fighting for. And I think this is very, very important. Our family and our friends are everything. And there's so much to our individual stories. There's so much to our lives that is intertwined with the people we know and love. And I promise you, there are people out there that are in your corner and they're fighting for you. And at the very least, I want to tell you, I'm fighting for you. And I'm in your corner. And I think that you need to look around your life and find those people that are there for you and the people that you want to fight for. And I think if you wake up every day and you think of those people, you think of those relationships, and that you want to get better and you want to make the most of your situation for the sake of those people, I think it's going to have a huge, huge impact on how you view the whole situation. And it's that act of selflessness that I think helps us the most. You never want to be selfless for your own gain or for your own recognition, but I think that when you shift your health issues and your problems away from yourself and start thinking of your kids and thinking of your spouse or your significant other, your family, your friends, I think when you shift the focus back to them, I think it helps you get outside of yourself, outside of your bubble, and be like, oh yes, I'm going through this, but there are other people in my life too. And I want to be there for them. I want to help them where I can. Even at your lowest moments, be thinking of how you can be helping others and how you can be involved in their lives. It is so important, and maintaining relationships through a health crisis is super difficult, but very, very worth it. So I would implore you to think of those people in your life that are important to you and continue fighting for them. All right, so those are my 5 tips on how to maintain a positive mindset despite your circumstances. And I hope that this video was an encouragement to you. I hope that it'll help you fight the good fight. And at the very least, I want you to know that I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner, and we're going to get through this together. So, again, thank you for your time. If this video was encouraging to you, or if you think it would be an encouragement to someone else, then I ask that you would like the video, share it, consider subscribing if you want to see more content, and especially if you're going through a health issue, I would love just to come alongside you and fight this fight with you. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and fight the good fight.